Oh, there he is. Yes. Walking in.
What's going on?
On the fly. Right here. We're going to give you a seat.
Oh, nice.
I'm just alerting the masses.
Did you get a black belt?
Yes, I did.
Nice.
You see that?
Good for you, man.
Yeah, how about that? Thank you for coming. 1 second. Here we go. We're doing it all on the fly right now.
What's
welcome.
up, buddy?
How are you?
Doing? Nice to see you.
What do you think?
This is nice. This is really nice.
I think you're turning.
Where am I? There I am.
There you are.
And then there's another one, right? There's my shoe.
There's your shoe.
That. We got Ally Quinto over there. So
yeah.
That's a good one.
We've got a lot of...
You got Matt Serra up here?
Come on.
Hater.
I would never.
You got Mayhem Miller.
I do. Greatest photo taken in MMA history.
DSP fight, which one was that from?
Yeah, that was after Johnny Hendricks when he said goodbye.
All right. That's it?
That's it as far as you're concerned.
All right, not bad.
What do you think? You like it?
This is nice.
I've come a long way.
You upgraded.
Remember when you were first introduced to us?
Where are the cameras in this place?
There's one there. There's one there. There's one over there.
This is hard to get used to.
Remember when we first saw you?
I remember very well.
It was in that little crappy AOL studio, and now look at us.
You were lucky enough. I was lucky enough to be on the show.
You were.
You just knew John Vellante,
the real star,
and he was nice enough to say, "Hey, I have a friend that is really good. You
Weidman."
Kind of let him on, and you were like, "Oh, this is Cris Weidman. He was a good wrestler," and then. There I was.
2 weeks later, you're in the UFC.
Fedor was, I think, walking around the building with about 35
That's right.
Russian people.
2 weeks later, you were in the UFC. The crazy thing is that you told us you were injured, and then you were hoping that no one saw the interview.
Yeah.
That wouldn't fly now.
Apparently, Alessio Sakara saw it because he was coming on body shots hard, and I was feeling every one of them. I had a fractured rib for that.
What's going on here? You're like a walking billboard. Monster, you got Reebok.
Monster, Reebok.
You're a real company man.
I just got done training at Henzo's.
Yes.
You get your ass kicked over there a little bit. You need some energy, and Monster helps out. So
it's very hard to get you in studio, especially so far from Henzo. So I really appreciate you doing this.
This is far, man.
Yeah.
The taxi ride.
How much do I owe you? I have my wallet in there.
I didn't check, but it was probably like $200.
Was? Did you come alone?
Yeah, I came alone.
Wow. No frills.
A lot of guys from Long Island, they don't want to make it out to the city anymore. They're becoming little divas.
Why?
Like Vellante. It's you take the train in, you get your training in, you're exhausted, and you wait for the train to hit back. And guys, it's a tiring day.
Yeah.
But for me, it's worth it because you go to Henzo's, you got so many good guys. I mean, I got some of the best jiu-jitsu guys in the world to go with. So.
How long does it take to get there?
For me, from my gym area, it's about 30 minutes. 34-minute train ride, yeah.
And you go every Monday?
I've been going every Monday.
Only Mondays?
Pretty much only Mondays. I was doing sparring out at Henzo's on Saturdays for a while, but we kind of just switched it up to just Mondays now.
Are you still going to New Jersey?
Not going to New Jersey.
Why? What happened?
Well, for my last camp, Mark was coming out to me a lot.
Yeah, Mark Henry.
Yeah. And it was just... He has so much to offer. He's one of the best coaches in the world, but we just weren't able to, with the difference, with the amount of time he needed to travel, it was too much for him, too much for us. Like for a guy like him, he has so much to offer where I need to get at least 3 times a weekend with him.
Okay.
It just wasn't possible. It takes a long time hitting rush hour and stuff like that. So this time, I didn't. It was almost unfair for him to make him come out all the time and. So this time we didn't do that.
Did you? I don't know.
Still, my boy to death. I love that guy.
Sure. Will he be cornering you?
I missed his 4th of July party yesterday, so he's probably mad at me. But
well,
we had people over my house.
Yeah, you look nice and tan.
Thank you, man.
Are you slimmer than usual this far out?
No, not really.
Really?
How much you weigh? It might be the shirt.
The shirt.
Like 208, something like that.
That's normal, or is that more than normal?
About normal. Depends on the camp. Sometimes I've been less. Sometimes I've been more. It's about normal.
Are you working with, so we did that weight cutting video with Tyler Minton.
Yes.
And DC just told us that he's living with him.
Yeah. Yep.
So are you not going to be working with him?
No, we're working together. He didn't come live with me or anything like that.
Okay.
My weight's been pretty good. We use Eat Clean Bro, and he kind of helps facilitate how much protein, how much carbs, and fat Eat Clean Bro sends to my house. So I get meals 2 times a week, and between him and my strength coach and nutritionist, also Tony Ricci, they kind of work together and come up with a game plan for me.
Were you listening to that interview with Michael Bisping?
I caught some of it, but to be honest, I just had to keep going back and forth to the bathroom. My stomach's been killing me. I got a weak stomach. I don't know.
Are we talking
I had my
onesies or twosies?
Twosies.
Oh,
I had my cheat meals yesterday. So after a hard workout, drinking some caffeine.
Are you nervous?
My body's just going through it.
New studio? Talking to me?
I'm not nervous.
Did you hear what he said about you?
No. What did he say?
He basically just...
Sorry, it wasn't nice.
Well, all he said, we were talking about Romero, and he said that you fought scared. That why were you shooting on a Olympic wrestler? You were scared to get hit.
No, I wasn't scared to get hit at all. I mean, for me, it's been the same thing every time I fight anybody. You know, I try to mix it up between the strikes and the wrestling, and Yoel Romero is the type of guy who gets tired. And going into the third round, he took a while to get off the stool. He was pulling that whole thing, and I thought I had him broke. So there's no better way than to mentally and physically beat somebody than to wrestle him. And if I had gotten that takedown where I didn't get hit with it, if I hadn't got hit with that knee, I think it could have been game over for him. So it's just a game of inches and one bad mistake. But no, I always use my wrestling.
Okay. We have so much to discuss as far as your next fight is concerned because we are less than, what, 3
weeks.
19
less
days.
Than 3 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, 19 days. You were offered to fight on Long Island. Last time we spoke, you were like, you know what, I have to reconsider the next time I get a fight here in New York. Of course, Long Island means a lot to you. That's where you're from. Did you have to think about it when they said, we want you to main event Long Island, Nassau Coliseum right next to you, considering what's happened the last 2 times, considering what happened with the Mousasi fight, how much did you have to think about it?
For me, I loved it. I love the idea of main eventing the first ever Nassau Coliseum card, just me being from Long Island. But the people closest to me were like, no, you're not doing it. No, you're not doing it. And I was just like, yes, I am. Whatever.
Really?
You know, the fact is, I mean, at the end of the day, you can't leave it to the refs. You can't leave it to the judges. And I got put in that position last time where it happened to go that way. And it's kind of a rare occasion. I'm just hoping the odds are that it doesn't happen again. You know, so I just hope to have more control over this fight and make sure that nothing weird like that happens.
So it was a no-brainer.
For me, it was a no-brainer. I mean, it's an honor and a privilege to be able to fight at Nassau Coliseum and also to be the main event. So, yeah, I had to take it.
What is the state of your appeal?
I just got it back in the mail yesterday, actually.
Oh, wow.
And,
good timing.
Yeah, so I did not win the appeal. Okay. Nothing that we didn't expect. I didn't even read it. My wife was reading it. It was more like, I guess when there's something that happens inside the octagon and it has to do with the injury, the commission's allowed to look at replay. I guess something like that is what it was about. Even though I guess the rules that were explained to us is that there was no replay, but I guess apparently if something happened to where there was an injury, they're allowed to look at replay and reverse.
That was their explanation.
That was pretty much what I heard from my wife.
Are you at peace?
Either way, I didn't put my eggs in that basket. Like, oh, I need to have a no contest.
You would have been surprised if they reversed it.
I would have been kind of surprised for them to admit they were wrong, and yeah, I would have been kind of surprised. So. And
now, was it weird, or at least now, like, because you took them to task, like you appealed the decision made in New York, and now you're fighting in New York. Do you feel like there's a bullseye on you? Do you feel like it's going to be awkward when dealing with the commission?
For me, I mean, I guess if they decide to make it awkward, go ahead. But for me, I'm very focused on my fight, and I'm not going to let them have any power over me, making me feel awkward. You know, I'm going to be fighting in my home state with all my fans and friends here and my family, so I'm going to be very comfortable. And if they get weird about things, that's on them. I'm not going to let that affect me. Was anyone other than Kelvin offered to you, or was it always him? Because he was supposed to fight Anderson June 3rd, I believe it was, 212 Rio, and then that didn't come to fruition because he popped. Before that, was anyone offered? Not for Long Island. Okay. UFC was asking if I would fight Anderson Silva. This was, I think, like 3.5 weeks before that fight was going on, or maybe 4 weeks.
In Rio?
In Rio. Oh. And I'm just like, no. I was still getting things checked out on my body and, just going to different doctors. And I had gone to Vegas, getting it all checked out. And I'm like, I already beat the guy twice, and I'm going to take a fight on short notice and head to his hometown to fight him. I'm like, yeah, it's not happening. I was like, I have no problem fighting Anderson again if you want me to fight him, but let's bump it a couple more weeks if you want to do it in Nassau Coliseum or do it some other time. But I wasn't going to just do it on short notice and, take that risk.
And then they gave you Kelvin.
And then, yeah, Kelvin wasn't on. I had no idea I would be fighting Kelvin. And then they just offered it, and I was like, all right, let's do it.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely odd. I just never imagined myself fighting Kelvin. You have all these different guys in the middleweight division that you kind of keep your eyes on. He wasn't one of the guys, but he's a tough kid he's got 2 wins in a row at middleweight against some good guys. And he earned his stripes, and he has a lot to prove, and he's got momentum. So it's a tough kid, and apparently a lot of people think he could beat me. So it's one of those things that excites me.
People are saying that to you?
No, I'm just saying people, think it would be a good fight. So
Sure.
I'm excited to go out there and do my thing.
So this was discussed going into the Mousasi fight. Hey, take an easy fight, get back on track, get your confidence. Now you're fighting a guy who's on a winning streak again. Like, was there any part of you that was like, or anyone try to convince you to take a fight against a guy who's top 50? Just get a win.
Who am I going to fight? Name a guy. UFC is a tough. UFC is. I'm fighting the best guys in the world. I mean, who am I going to fight? That's like, oh, he's going to lay down for me and just let me beat his ass. That doesn't happen. So I'd rather fight the best guys. These guys up with momentum, coming forward, and that believe in themselves, and beat that.
Are you surprised? I don't know if you know this, but Kelvin is actually the betting favorite.
Is he?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
How do you feel about that?
I mean, Vegas has got that one wrong. That's what can I say?
Would you bet on yourself? Or have other people bet
I've never done that before.
Yeah.
I've never bet on myself, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people betting on me.
Does that kind of blow your mind? Have we forgotten? About this?
It does kind of blow my mind. I'm on a losing streak, and people are buying into that, and I understand, but I'm far from finished. If I was the guy right now who is sparring and getting beat up by guys in the practice room that I used to beat, then I start questioning myself, and maybe I am not the guy I thought I was. But that's not the case. I'm improving. The guys I spar with, the guys I train with, I'm continuing to do really good, and so I haven't lost a step. It just happened to be lost technically in my last 3 fights. It's just part of the game.
This moment right here, it is immortalized on our wall. What is it? 3 years, 3 or 4 years has it been now? Holy smokes!
No idea.
What do you see when you see that?
That was an awesome moment, man. That was.
That's you, of course. If anyone's not watching, you knocking out Anderson Silva.
He was playing with me a little bit too much, and I just got freaking pissed. And I said, I'm not going to stop punching until I knock you out.
UFC 162 this weekend, like the July 4th weekend show, right?
Yep. We had the American flags out, the Brazilian flags. Yeah, it was my first time hearing the Uva Mahera.
Yeah.
It was my first time ever on pay-per-view. It was my first time with any fandom and people actually knowing who I am.
Right.
It was a crazy time. It was a lot of focus to get through that. This is a guy who had beaten so many guys before they even got in the octagon, and I was very determined not to let that guy be me. So it was a great time.
Is that like a drug? That feeling, is that like a drug that you feel like you'll be chasing for your entire career?
I want to win. I want to get that belt back. But the biggest thing is I want to be able to support my family, make that as much money as I possibly can. So when I'm done with this sport, I could choose what I want to do. Of course, getting a win like that, I don't know if I'll ever have a win like that again. A win where I'm fighting the greatest of all time. Everyone is counting me out, and the people closest to me believed that I could do it, and I did. To say I was going to finish him and to go out there and finish him. When people were laughing at me, had death threats from Brazil for being so confident. You have to realize the guys that he was fighting before me, like guys were just, they didn't believe in themselves, He fought Stephan Bonner, I think, the fight before me. I mean, he was just playing with these guys, and then he would find a way to just embarrass them with some type of spectacular knockout. And that just energized me. It lit a fire in me to just be the guy to break that down.
You obviously don't regret being a fighter. It's been great for you, right? Mm-hmm. You've made money, you've accomplished great things. But when you said something just now about making the most amount of money possible for your family before you can move on, I'm sort of reminded of how different. Like you are how old? 33.
33 this month, June 17th.
Happy birthday! I turned 35 on Saturday.
Old man.
Yeah.
Old man.
But I'm reminded because, like my job, I will talk. I could talk about MMA until I'm 70, right?
Yeah.
But at some point, your time is going to come. Is there is there an intense stress on your life and children? Like you have to make the most amount of money possible in the shortest amount of time possible, right? Before your number is called, right?
Yeah.
Do you think about that a lot as a father of 3? This is what you are born to do. You are born to be a fighter. You are making a ton of money as a fighter, but that can't last forever. You just hope to be in a position to move on and continue to make that sort of money once you're done fighting.
I understood this as soon as I got into the sport. I was always in a rush. At 9-0, I was fighting Anderson Silva.
Right.
I pushed the envelope always because I knew this wasn't going to last forever. This isn't a job where I get to sit behind a mic and talk about something I love. This is a sport where your body will slowly go on you. And so you got to make the most of every moment that you have. And so I knew that from day one, and that's why I took so many risks. That's why I took the 10-day notice fight with Damian Maia and took a fight on 2 weeks' notice with Alessio Sakara with broken ribs, and did a lot of crazy things that I look back at now, and it's a crazy road. It's something I could look back when I'm done and be like, wow, that was pretty amazing. But it's not done yet. I have a lot more I need to accomplish. I'm not declining, even though my record looks like you would think, oh man, he's on his way out. Believe me, all the people that support me, I will prove you right. You guys will realize that I'm here, but even better than I've ever been. Just certain circumstances happened in my last couple of fights where I wasn't able to show it, but the real Cris Weidman will come back out.
You made a lot of headlines. It was very cool to hear the story about how you were considering kind of moving back into your parents' basement and starting over prior to 210, right? For this camp, any changes, any revelations, any moments, epiphanies, anything like that?
Nothing crazy. I've been sleeping in the guest room so I could sleep and get my actual sleep in. Just very focused. We got 3 weeks left. I'm already in top shape. I've been sparring 5 rounds, even 6 rounds with a couple different guys now for a while. I'm in shape. I'm ready to go already. Now it's almost to the point where I start weaning it out, like kind of wind it down a little bit, just getting there, feeling fresh. So I feel good. I feel really good. There's nothing.
No drastic changes.
No drastic changes. Nothing.
Have you watched the Mousasi fight?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you react when you watch it? Overall, you happy up until the point, the controversial moment? Were you happy with what you were doing?
I felt like I was winning the fight, but I didn't like some of the things I was doing in the fight. I felt like I was rushing it. Okay. I think I was almost a little bit overconfident in that fight. I thought I was just going to run through him, take him down, and finish him. And it kind of, if you watch the fight, it looked like that was exactly what I was going to do. I took him down. At one point, I mounted him, and even when I mounted him the one time he turned his back, I was just very anxious to just flatten him out and finish the fight instead of just being calm and realizing that I have dominant position, let it take over on its own, wait for my openings for submissions and strikes. I was a little bit overzealous, I feel like, in that fight, a little bit too anxious to finish the fight. So I'm excited to go out there and relax and wait for the finish to come on its own.
I'll never forget that post-fight interview where you're kind of telling everyone like you're apologizing, and it was just like, it was very, your post-fight interviews have become somewhat memorable now, for various reasons, the ups and the downs. But that was a very unique one where you were like, you remember that? You were apologizing to the people, and I
was definitely a little out of it. I just had got knee in the head twice. I was very angry and frustrated, and at the same time, you try to cool down and collect yourself, and I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I think I was just telling everybody I love them and I'm sorry.
Yes.
And it's just the truth. I have a lot of gratitude and respect for this game, and as much as these fans are unforgiving, I get brutalized on the internet and everything, I really do have a strong love for the people that follow this game and the people that follow me and believe in me, because I do have a strong support system. And I just felt like it was one of those weird times where I just wanted to tell everybody that I do love him.
Will you be disappointed if he doesn't re-sign Gegard with the UFC?
That was the fight I thought I was going to have, and at this point, I'm not even focused. I got Gastelum in 3 weeks. Mousasi, that would be kind of disappointing because he's a top fighter, and UFC fighter. UFC is the organization where we do have the best fighters. So for him to leave would be a letdown to the middleweight division. But I'm not going to lose sleep over it.
I spoke to Luke Rockhold on Friday, and he was very still upset about the current state of the division. And I think we're going to get some clarity coming up on Saturday because the interim title is on the line. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like it's going to start to get back to normal soon? It's going to keep. It feels like it kind of stalled for a bit with this GSP fight and all that stuff. Do you feel like it's going to start to? You're looking at me like.
No, I'm just waiting. I'm just listening.
You don't. Well, can I say what your look said to me? I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I really don't care. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, I have no leverage or momentum to say anything about the division right now. I gotta win.
Yeah.
And I have a tough guy in front of me, and that's what I'm focused on. But the division will come to more of a normal place, I think, when he actually fights a number one contender for the first time, and he hasn't done that. The one fight I give him is that Luke fight. You know, I got injured, 2 weeks notice. He jumps in, he's doing a movie shoot. No one gave him a shot, including me. He goes out there and knocks out Luke Rockhold in the first round, and all power to him. But what happened after the fight is where everybody has a problem. You know, he did amazing. You know, the guy had never had a real opportunity to fight for the title. He stepped up on short notice and made it happen. And he got the W, but after that, I mean, right away he's fighting a 46-year-old guy who's ranked number 14, and then all of a sudden he's talking about GSP, who hasn't fought in 3 years, who's a welterweight. So everybody's frustrated with that stuff. And each one of those situations, if I was a lawyer, I could probably defend him on that stuff too, why he's doing it and why it makes sense for him. But when it comes down to the sport, you want to see the best guys fight the best guys, and the guys who really work their way up to number one contendership, they deserve to fight for the belt. If you don't have that, there's no certainty on what the point of even winning fights are. So it really causes a lot of confusion in the sport, and that's what's going on. It's confusing. You know, you win one fight like Yoel Romero, he goes out there, gets a nice victory over me, and he feels like he's definitely going to be fighting for the title. Now all of a sudden he's fighting a guy like Robert Whittaker, where Whittaker was at really no man's land, and then he goes out there and does his thing against Jacare, and now he's fighting for an interim belt. It's just weird how it all goes down. And so for me, there's no point for me to put any focus on any of that stuff, because at the end of the day, there's no one promised me anything. And if they promise me anything, I'm not believing it. So I just got to go out there and take care of business, go out there and win. And you wait for the right times and hope that everything works out for yourself.
By the way, is there a reason why you won't say Bisping's name?
Bisping.
Okay, because you just kept saying him and he and
Bisping.
Okay, all right.
There you go. My bad.
All right.
My bad. I have no, and you know, I got no Bisping. He's never gave me credit since I got into the sport. He was a guy who was like almost, I don't know if he was a 50-50 guy, but he was a guy who'd win some and win some and lose. And he never was, I don't know if he was top 5 or a guy who was really in title contention since I got into the weight class division, 2009. And all of a sudden I come up, I get undefeated, and I accomplish what I accomplish. And he was sitting there just watching it all go down. So I think he hated on me a lot during this whole thing. But I really do have a lot of appreciation for what he did. I mean, this guy stuck around. No one was paying attention to him. He was the mouth that got no credit. And then he stayed strong, and he was around when an opportunity arose, and he made the best of it. And you know, he's a champion of the world. And most people, to be honest, with his talent level, you would never expected him to be to be the champion of the world in the position he is. So I think it's like a Cinderella story. It's a pretty cool thing, what he accomplished.
Who do you think wins this weekend, Romero or Whittaker? Will you watch?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I haven't given much thought to it, but you know, even in my fight with Yoel Romero, going to the third round, if I look back, I could have figured out a way to win that fight just standing. You know, the first round, it was all mostly standing with him, and with some I hit him with a couple takedowns in the first round, but just standing with him, there wasn't much danger, and I felt like I was kind of picking him apart. And then if I would have stayed with that same strategy going to the third round, I think I would have, you know, walked away with the decision at least. Whittaker is not going to be pushing the wrestling. You know, he's going to be trying to stay away and looking to strike. And Romero obviously has the power, and he's dangerous with his striking, but he's also going to be trying to take it to the ground. In a 5-round fight, I don't think Romero's ever been in a 5-round fight. And he
certainly hasn't gone the distance. Yeah.
He's definitely known to gas. If Whittaker stays relaxed and stays away and stays out of danger with powerful strikes, I mean, he has a chance of winning. I thought Bisping, honestly, matchups make fights. I thought Bisping maybe even had a chance against Yoel. Just try to keep it standing. Yoel's not the type of guy where he takes you down, takes you back, and chokes you out. He's the type of guy who could take you down, use a lot of energy, and then not much control on top. Has some nice ground and pound, but eventually, usually guys get back up to their feet. So with that being said, in a 5-round fight, can he stay relaxed for 5 rounds on his feet? Because even if he gets a takedown, I'm pretty sure Whittaker could get back up to his feet unless he gets ground and pounded out. But I don't know. It's interesting.
So you're not going on the record.
I mean, it's one of those fights.
It's kind of a real toss-up, right?
It's a real toss-up. I mean, Whittaker stays away from. He get Yoel to run into something, and same thing the other way. Later in the rounds, you got to give it to Whittaker, just because Yoel does seem to have trouble in later rounds. He does gas, but he is known for gassing. But if you realize a lot of his finishes are later in the rounds. He finishes guys in the third round because he looks exhausted, but he's still one of those guys that are very dangerous even when he's exhausted. So you still have to give him a lot of respect. What's the odds on that fight?
I don't know. I'll have the guys in the back tell me that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I would do if I was better. If I was betting that fight, which I probably will. But
okay. While they get that, let me ask you about this. I saw a video. You were in Nassau Coliseum, right? Did they like shoot you walking in?
Yeah.
What was that for? Like the countdown show or something?
I've been to Nassau Coliseum now, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 times in the last couple months, just for all different like production stuff.
And the cage is in there, but it's the new Nassau Coliseum, right?
Yep.
And have you ever been to an event there?
Since it's reopened?
Yeah.
No, since it's reopened, I haven't been in there yet.
What is it like though? It's not the New York Islanders Nassau Coliseum, and it would like kind of rickety, but it had its own charm.
Yeah.
But for you to walk in as a Long Island kid who I'm sure has been to Islander games there, and that was your.
That was my place, man. I grew up. I was a huge fan of the Islanders back.
That probably meant more than MSG as a kid. That place, right?
Yeah, that's the only place I had a lot of pride. Was Nassau Coliseum. I was a huge Islander fan in the early 90s. That's when I was playing hockey, and then my parents couldn't afford ice hockey. So then when junior high hit, everything I just did all the free sports, which is like wrestling, basketball, lacrosse, and different sports like that. So I kind of stopped playing hockey, but hockey was my love. I wanted to be in the NHL. That was my dream.
Wow. Who's your favorite player?
You know my story about trying out for the Islanders when I stopped. Did you know that story? Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah, so hang on. We'll go to the Coliseum and then I'll go to the Islanders. But basically, I remember going to the Islander games with my dad and my brother and waiting outside for autographs for the Islanders. I was a huge Pierre Turgeon, Benoit, Steve Thomas, Glenn Healy, Malkov.
Wow, so you were a hardcore fan.
I was obsessed. It was the only sport that we watched as a family. I never was into football. Baseball, really. We didn't watch anything other than hockey because my dad was the hockey coach and me and my brother were on the team, and we won the championship like every single year.
Wow.
Really good.
Wow.
And so I had stopped playing hockey in like sixth grade, but I had broken records and I was really, really good. I was a center hockey player.
You had that speed.
I was always the fastest. I had a good slap shot. My wrist shot was accurate. And I was gonna be on the Islanders. That was the goal. I actually remember in like 6th grade, we had to write to ourselves, and you get it in 12th grade what you want to do when you get older. And I had wrote be an NHL hockey player and play for the New York Islanders.
Wow.
And so life goes on. I become a wrestler. I go to Nassau Community College, which happens to be right next to Nassau Community College, and then Nassau Coliseum, and then I went to Hofstra University, wrestled, became a grad assistant there. Continued to wrestle for the Olympic trials, got injured, and then I was kind of at a crossroads. Do I start dabbling with the MMA and getting into that, which I kind of felt might have been a good place for me. I felt like I was kind of meant for it, and then or hockey was something where, it was something I kind of always regretted that I had to stop, and I had learned so much from wrestling as far as like the mental attitude you need to be successful, the work ethic you need. And athletically, I felt like I was pretty damn athletic and I could pick up something and do it. And I was already so good at hockey when I was younger that I felt like I could do it. So I was living in my parents' basement at the time, and we had my daughter. We were dead broke. So it was a stupid move, but I went to the bank and I took out a credit card for like $1,000 limit. Somehow they let me do it. And I had gone down to the hockey store. And if you watch Mighty Ducks, I felt like I was in Mighty Ducks. I think Gordon Bombay let the whole team get to pick out like the cool equipment. And in my eyes, I was trying out for the Islanders, and I really believed I was going to be able to do it. So I got had to get nice stuff. So I spent about $1,000 on this hockey equipment.
What?
And I'm like, here we go. And so I went down to the hockey rink, and they had a bunch of high school kids playing. So I kind of jumped in, and I'm on my skates, and I'm like, when I tell you, I was like really good. That's the only reason. I'm not crazy. I really was that good when I was young. And so I figured I would be able to pick it up, just kind of riding a bike. So I get on the skates and I'm skating and I'm just like, whatever. So we get into the hockey game with these high school kids.
Sure.
And I'm in there with them, and they were running circles around me. I'm now the slowest on the ice. My accuracy sucks. I'm like having trouble really even everything. My slap shot, everything was off. My slap shot sucked. I was no longer the person that I thought I was in hockey. So my dream for the New York Islanders was over. It was kind
How
of.
long did it take for you to realize this? Like, was it like 5 minutes in?
I was definitely prepared mentally that I wasn't going to be as good as I was, of course, when I was as I remember being when I was young, but I was going to keep working on it, and I was going to figure out a way to make the Islanders and be in the NHL. And you know, at the time, I had met some Islanders and stuff like that, and I'm around them, and I'm like, these guys, what makes them better than me?
Yeah.
You know, I could do
Scrubs.
this. Yeah, they're like smaller than me, you know. So I'm like, this is what I'm going to do. But I realized that right away. First go, I was like, I can't do this.
And then you quit?
I quit.
Wow. What'd you do with the equipment?
I actually tried to return it. They wouldn't let me return it, so it's still floating around in my garage. My wife was not happy. But
how did you explain to your wife you guys are broke and that you went to buy?
She wasn't happy, man. She wasn't happy. It was in a weird spot. You know, my wife at that time was getting her CPA license. She was number one in her class. She was very disciplined and dedicated to being successful. And me, I was like the kid who was looking for these different dreams. You know, she was pushing me to get my master's degree. I was never that kid who was like studious and focused on school, but I had a wife that really pushed me to have that as a backup plan. So she was pushing me to do all that stuff, but I was kind of scatterbrained and trying to do these other things, and it was tough because she was making all the money at the time. You know, I was kind of just the guy sucking off the teat.
Wow.
You know? And those were tough times. I remember going to her like accounting parties, and I had started fighting at this point, and all these wives that were there with their husbands, and the husbands with their wives who are stay-at-home moms. They have good jobs. My wife was working at the PricewaterhouseCoopers, which is known as one of like the number one accounting firms in the world. And I remember being there, and these accountants coming up to my wife and me and like asked me, "Oh, what do you do for a living?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm a fighter." They're like, "Oh yeah, like that's cool." And then that's it. You're a fighter? Well, I'm getting my master's in physical education. Oh, good for you, man. Good for you. And I'm like embarrassed. Like these guys are making over six figures, and I was like 2-0. I had a broken hand at that point, and they would ask me how many fights you got. I'm like, I have 2 fights. And it was just like they're looking at her like, "What are you doing with this guy?"
Yeah.
Come home to daddy. We could take care of you, little Hawaiian mama.
You're the dead weight.
I was the dead weight for a while. So that was all this type of stuff is motivating, and I think it's all good for other people to hear because screw everybody. Don't let anybody hold you down.
Do you ever think about what happens if you don't catch on, if you get some kind of injury and you don't become a fighter? What would you have done?
Well, I had the phys ed thing. You know, I had
a gym teacher.
I guess I would have a physical educator.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
I could have done that.
Tucked in shirt.
I was reluctant to do that. I got my master's in it, but I didn't love the process when I became because you have to do student teaching, so you actually have to do the job and like go to high school and elementary schools and do that. And I went through that process. And it was real tough for me. I hated doing the lesson plans and all that stuff, and having a boss and having these kids talk to you in certain ways where you just have to deal with it. And even as a coach, you could kind of like talk to a kid a certain way where you're going to get respect from them. But when you're a teacher, these kids kind of like F you.
Yeah.
And I had to deal with some of that stuff. And I came from like a tough town, and I always if I'm going to respect you, you respect me, and that's just the way it was. And I was working like in a rich kid town, and these kids would just disrespect me. It was a tough pill. It was a tough pill to swallow. I actually had I had a little issue with one of these kids.
Well, what happened? Smacked him?
No, I didn't smack him. But so the guy who I was working with as a phys ed teacher, he knew I was like a good wrestler in college and stuff like that, and I just had started doing MMA. And there was this one kid in high school who was like Mr. like bully. He thought he was such a thug, and it killed me because he was like goes to this rich kid school and he thinks he's such a thug, and I just couldn't stand him. And one time we're all in the gym, and not a lot of teachers were there. I was kind of on my own, and there was like 50 or maybe 60 kids in the gym, which is a lot for one teacher, especially a guy like me who they're not going to respect because I'm not a real teacher. So I'm in there, and the kids, it was time to quiet them down and get them all lined up. And one of the kids, that thug kid, he had a basketball, and he's dribbling it. I'm like, all right, ball's in. Come on, give me the ball. He's like, nah, I'm good. And he kept dribbling it.
Oh.
And I'm like, hey, I said, come on, ball in. Let's go, give me the ball. He's like, nah, I'm good, buddy. And he just kept dribbling it. And the kids are like, ooh. And I'm like, so I walk over to him. I'm like, hey, give me the ball. He's like, nah, I'm good. Dribbling it.
Oh, man.
I'm like, bro, give me the ball. So now he picks it up. He's holding it in front of me. So I go to like grab it out nicely. So I'm just going to take it from him. I'm hoping that he's just going to let me take it from him. He rips it out of my hand. So, but it kind of looked like I struggled a little bit to pull. So he rips it out. So now this guy thinks he like kind of, you know, like he's tougher than me, you know? Now he stole the ball from me. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? So now like the other gym teacher comes in and like, hey, what's going on here? And right away he gives the other gym teacher the ball. And I'm like, and all the kids are laughing at me like as this kid punked me. And I'm like, you motherfucker. I'm like, I don't even know if we're allowed to curse.
Yeah, go ahead. Go nuts.
I don't like to curse that much anyway, but sometimes it just happens.
This kid brings it out in you.
He brings it in, he brought it out of me. And then so he starts talking, he gets in my face. He's like, bro, you can't do shit. He was like, I'll fuck your ass up. I'm like, bro, who do you think you are? No, you won't. He was like, I'll fuck your ass up right now. I ain't scared. We'll do this anywhere, outside. He was like, nobody has to know. I'm like, I bet we go to the gym office right now. Let's see what you got. So I walk my gym, the guy who was like the actual teacher in the school lets this happen because he knows this kid's such a punk. So we go into like the PE office, and right away this kid's in my face. He pushes me, and I'm like, boom, and I don't move. I just take it. I'm not gonna punch him. So he was actually a little taller than me. I take his head, I collar time right to a choke, and I just start squeezing him.
What?
Now, as I'm squeezing, I'm making fun of him. I'm like, how's that feel, buddy? And he's trying to talk, and every time he tries to talk, I'll just like squeeze a little bit more so he sounds stupid when he's trying to talk. So there was a black couch right behind me. He starts driving into me, so now I'm gonna fall down, and I can't let him do that to me. He had one friend in there, and we had a couple other phys ed teachers. So as I'm falling, I like pick his head up, and I grab like a underhook on the other side, and I lateral drop him. He like flies into the wall, goes down. Now I grab his head, I'm just pushing his head into the couch. I was like, are you done yet? Are you done yet? And then finally he was like, no, you got me, man. You got me, man. And he kind of like gave up, and he was like, no, I got respect for you now. I got respect for you. I'm like, bro, shut up. Like, who the hell do you think you are?
How old is he?
He was like a senior in high school, but he probably got left back a couple of times.
And you? How old were you?
I was like 21, 22.
I love this school. You get to beat up the kids.
It was great, you know. It was kind of.
Did you get in trouble?
I didn't get in trouble.
Wow.
I didn't get in trouble and then it's funny because the next day I see him and I'm like, I was worried the whole night. I'm like, am I gonna get in trouble because of this? I was like, but you know, at the time I was like, I just can't deal with this type of crap. And so he's walking in with like a girlfriend in school, and I'm kind of by myself. I'm like, here, he's gonna challenge me to a fight or something in the middle of school. He comes walking by me. He's like, yo, much respect, my man, much respect. And I'm like,
man.
bro, beat it, man, beat it.
Oh, that is amazing.
I don't know why I'm even telling these stories. What did you do to me?
This is a great story.
Yeah.
This is a great story. By the way, I have to ask you about your son, CJ. I get such a kick out of watching your videos with him. I saw one just a couple of days ago where he's wearing a hooded sweatshirt. You guys are going somewhere, and he's like one of the boys. Like you could tell. Like my son, your son is what, 5?
He just turned 5 in June. Yep.
That's right. Oh, you had the pro wrestling party.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah, I wish you could have made it, bro.
Wow, you had a. Did you have a ring or did you just have the event? No, you dressed up.
Next time we gotta do a ring.
Yeah,
it really would have been cool, but we just did it on the grass.
You were Hogan?
I was Ultimate Warrior. Volante was Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
I mean, the whole thing was everybody was supposed to come dressed up as Ultimate Warrior, you know, or whatever, any WWE,
wrestler, yeah.
any WWF guy. But for some reason, it was just me and Volante dressed up.
The only ones?
Yeah. And Countdown happened to be there, and this wasn't part of the plan. We were just gonna like hang out during the party dressed up as WWE people. But Countdown was there, and I'm like, yo, Volante, I bet let's do like a match. Let's surprise him like doing a match because CJ hadn't seen me yet, and I wanted to surprise him looking like Ultimate Warrior anyway. So like literally in like 3 minutes, we came up, we orchestrated the whole thing, and it worked out great. We had a great time.
Did he like it?
He loved it. He was like timid. He was like, usually CJ is pretty outgoing and like excited and smiley and loud. But like when it was going on, I think he was like in such shock.
Yeah. Did he know it was you?
He knew. I think he knew it was me, but it was like he was just kind of like embarrassed because he doesn't love attention, so everybody's looking at him for his reaction, and he got kind of like, you know, he's turning 5.
Sure,
you know, he's gets a little nervous.
But so you posted, where were you guys going? You guys were walking and he's kind of like, I see him like working out with you, and I've seen some videos of him wrestle. Like he's like a prodigy kid. Were you like that? For those that don't know, like Chris's son, he's a 5-year-old who acts like an 18-year-old with athletics.
He's a really cool kid. It's you know how it is. You have kids like, I'm sick to my stomach on how much I love this kid. He's awesome. We couldn't ask for anything better.
Is he you as a 5-year-old? Like
I was always, I would say I was like tough, and there's a lot of things we have in common. Like I remember I would always be on the floor. I'd always make things dirty, like every sport, like sliding all over the place. He's that guy. He's sliding, like whether he's playing baseball or soccer. He's just running and sliding everywhere, just creating chaos and just trying to have fun.
He's a bruiser.
He's a bruiser. Wrestling-wise, like I didn't start wrestling until I was a little older than him. He already kind of started now. He's actually done 2 wrestling tournaments.
And he won one.
He won his first one, and he just had lost this past weekend for the first time. He lost a couple times.
How'd you react?
I reacted fine. For me, as long as he's working as hard as he can and having fun, that's all I could ask for. But he's just not experienced. He's just not as experienced as some of these kids. Some of these kids are doing practice all year round, and they're a little older than him. And CJ really did 2 wrestling camps that are a week long, and he's 5. He's kind of like not focused. He's looking all around the room, but he loves wrestling. He doesn't care. He wants to just do the tournament. He thinks he won the tournament. He doesn't realize he lost. He lost.
That's perfect.
He has a medal. They gave him a medal. He's happy. He thinks he won. But he had he did amazing things in those matches that I'm really proud of him. But now, since he lost, like the first tournament he won, he really dominated all the kids. This time he had lost, and all of a sudden that competitiveness in me. Now I want to teach him things. I want to help him make sure he wins next time. And there's just little things that I could help him with that will bring him to the next level. But it's a scary thing because as a father, you don't want to be like too excited and pushing your kid too much because you don't want him to revert back and get not like his dad.
Sure.
So there's like a fine line. We had the camp this week, and I always felt like he was able to listen to me, and I'd have no problem coaching him. A lot of fathers would rather someone else coach their kids because they don't want to create the friction, father-son coaching experience. And I thought I'd never have a problem, but this week I went to the wrestling camp and I was trying to coach him with like other 5, 6, 7-year-olds. And I started getting like pissed off. I'm like, because CJ's not paying attention. He's in la la land. And I'm like really trying to show him something because my wife had signed him up for this tournament. I know he doesn't really know a lot of the moves. He makes a lot of mistakes. So I'm like, I want to show him what to do so he doesn't make those mistakes in the match. And he was all over the place. And I'm like, wow, I'm becoming that crazy father who's obsessed with like getting my son to the next level. And I'm like, I gotta calm myself down. And
so you're gonna
the tournament I was okay with.
Okay.
When he lost, he lost one match. He lost, I don't know, like 12-8 or something, but they were like back and forth, and I was just so proud of him. He was on his back. He fought off his back so hard, like for the whole match. He was unbelievable. He's great.
It's incredible to watch him because I feel like he's like a grown man, like just the way he wants to compete. And my kids aren't like that. And that's not, I'm not trying to put down my kids. They're just different.
Oh, everybody comes on different
but it cracks
times.
me up.
Like every kid's so different. My daughter, I wanted her to be a freak, all of a sudden, but I thought she'd be walking at 9 months like I did. Next thing I know, she didn't walk until like 16 months. My little guy, CJ, he walked, 9, 10 months. He walked right away. And my little guy, he was a little longer. And then also with like the sports stuff, every kid is just so different. You can't push what you want on the kids. It kind of just has to happen. You got to work with it.
But what if he says he wants to be a fighter like you at some point, or has he said that yet?
No, he's obsessed with WWE stuff.
Not
right
UFC.
Now. He was obsessed with the UFC for a while. He kind of goes back and forth. And as far as if I'd let him do the UFC, it's not something I would like push him towards. I would love for him to understand how to beat people up and how to defend himself and like be on a whole nother level than most human beings, because I could teach him a lot of stuff. But I don't know if I'd want him to be a fighter. I'd rather him, play a different type of sport. But at the end of the day, like, you want to, there's things you have to say no to your kids on, but you want them, if they fall in love with something and they have a passion for it, you want to support them in that. And I would hope it's not fighting, but if it is, I will support him and I'll help.
I won't say no. You want
I'm not gonna stop it. It really is a great sport, and as long as you stay healthy and safe, I have no problem with it.
How's the dog?
The dog's doing good. He had like the best time of his life the other day. He was swimming in our pool, and so he doesn't smell as bad now.
New pool. I've been following all of this. This is what social media does.
Yeah, I know. It was crazy. Like these dogs that don't shed, like he's hypoallergenic because my wife, she's allergic, so we had to go with a hypoallergenic dog. They stink more because they don't shed. Their hair stays on, and so this dog stinks all the time. And my wife, when we got this dog, it was all on me. Like she didn't want anything to do with the dog. She didn't want a dog, but I'm like, I think it'd be great for the kids to have a dog. But it's been a headache. It's tough having a dog. Like for me, it's more work than having a kid.
Really?
Yeah, because if the dog gets sick, I come home at night, like I'm exhausted. I get done with like a hard workout. I come out, it's 10 o'clock at night. My dog was in the cage, and all of a sudden there's poop and throw up in his cage. And I'm just like, this is a 3-hour ordeal. Now I got to carry him in the cage all the way outside. Got to get him out of the cage. I got to hose the thing down. I got to wash it. The house stinks. I got to clean all that up. Then I got to take the dog back in, bathe the dog. Then I got to blow dry the dog. It takes like 3 hours. So it's like, it could be a lot.
Okay. Yeah. I'm fighting against it. I will use this as.
Yeah, I would say, I don't know. I would say probably stay away. As much as you have an urge, like a little bit, it's cool to see with the kids with it.
Yeah.
Man, it is a lot of work.
By the way, how was the retreat? Did you enjoy it?
The UFC retreat?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Did you think it was worth your while?
It was cool. I got to, I like most of the UFC fighters, so I got to hang out with a lot of UFC fighters. Most of you Long Island guys kind of stuck together. We got some good timing with them, just hanging out. Obviously, Snoop Dogg concert was cool. It was cool.
The talks, Kobe Bryant and all that stuff, you enjoyed that?
Yeah, Kobe Bryant was cool. To be honest, I didn't go to everything. I don't think a lot of fighters did. I cut class a couple of times. I missed like the Budweiser guy who was like calling people out. He was like, if you lose, then we're not gonna like you. You won't be sponsored by us. You have to win every fight. If you get knocked out, then obviously it's your fault. Everyone's looking at him like, who the hell do you think you are? But so I missed that. I missed the guy from Shark Tank, which I kind of wish I was there for that. But overall, it was interesting. Like in the beginning, there was a lot of tension between fighters who were in the same weight class.
Yeah.
I was with Ally Quinta.
Yeah.
The stories that were going on that first night when we were all together was
water guns
absolutely insane. It was absolutely insane. He was on a whole different stratosphere of craziness.
Has he always been this crazy?
No. He's crazy. He's one of the, Al's probably listening right now. But Al is definitely Mr. Jekyll, was it Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde?
Yeah.
Is that what I'm, yeah, he's like some people are like, oh, he's the nicest kid in the world, which he is. He really is such a good dude. But there's a switch that flips and he's like, you can't control him. He's scary. I'm like, oh my
Raging
God.
Al.
Raging Al.
You know
where he gets the name.
You know who's next on our show?
Who?
Coming up after you.
Who?
Cris Cyborg.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Yeah, she scares me. She scares me a little bit.
What happened? Can you tell us the story?
Yeah. So I I learned more even after this all went down. So I forgot who I was with. I was with a couple Long Island fighters, and we jumped in the bus to head to the facility, the new facility to get food, and they were going to do a tour. But I'm like, I don't want to do the tour. I just want to get back to the hotel, just get some food and head back. And so we went there, we did like a little we ate some of the food in the cafeteria, and then I was just trying to jump on a bus back. I guess we jumped on a different bus than we were supposed to be on. We were like on the Brazilian bus.
Oh.
For some reason, all the Brazilians were all together. Like they were put together for some reason.
Okay.
So we're on their bus, we're heading back, and for some reason, the girl, Magana, and her friend, Beck Rowling, they were on the bus with us, and they were sitting in front of us. So we were like kind of chatting it up there and back. So on the way back, I had never met them before, but on the way back we start leaving the bus, and when I get off the bus, the girl Magana, I guess, was right in front of me, and as I come off the bus, all of a sudden you see Cyborg just run up into Magana's face, and they're having words, and for me, I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. I didn't know there's any beef. I don't follow the girl Magana on Twitter. I don't realize what she was saying, but basically Cyborg was going nuts on her. Like all the words you could think of, just going off, like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like talking like this, blah, blah, blah. And then Magana, like, is kind of quiet and in shock. She's kind of like smiling and like a nervous smile, like oh my God. And she's way smaller than Cyborg. And Cyborg's going off. But all of a sudden, like, I guess she must have realized, this is just me my opinion on kind of how it went down. She must have realized like there's a lot of people around now and the cameras start coming out. She grew some balls. All of a sudden, she starts cursing back at Cyborg. And I'm like, oh, that's not smart. So as soon as she starts cursing at her, I realize now there's no one in between them and something's going to go down. So I start trying to like break it up. So I start coming in like this. Hey, guys, come on, let's calm down. And as soon as I go like, all right, let's calm down, Cyborg just stops, screaming at Magana, looks at me, goes, don't touch me. And I'm like, all right, I'm good. Bro, the best part is Dana White has the video, by the way. He had showed me when we did this thing. I don't know if he's ever going to release it. It is hysterical.
The way you backtrack?
The way I backtrack. They were busting my balls, but I'm like, I have no shame. I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm going to step in there, tell Cyborg, no, I will touch you, and then she kicks my ass, or what am I going to do? Kick her ass? And then either way, I'm screwed.
It's a lose-lose.
Yeah, what if she knocks me out? I might as well just retire then. So as I go, come on, girls, calm down. She yells at me. She goes, don't touch me. I'm like, all right, back up. And then within a second, she just like takes her hand, just cracks Magana. And Magana did like a little shaky leg thing. And she got like teary-eyed, and then right away, at least from what I heard, right away she was just like, "I'm calling the cops," and that was like the first thing. And Cyborg just jetted out, and that was it. And for me, I had no idea what was going on. I'm like, I can't believe she just beat the shit out of this little girl. But that was going through my mind. I'm like, man. But then I guess I saw some of the stuff she was saying to Cyborg, so I'm like, I can understand. I don't know why she would be saying that to Cyborg, especially if you know you possibly could be seeing her.
Right.
Like, for me, if someone's talking shit the way she was talking shit about me, and if I see them, there's probably a good chance I'm going to have fucking something to say to them and we're probably going to be fighting. So I do see where Cyborg went with that. Unfortunately, the world we live in today, there's lawsuits and there's cops and you can't just punch people. You have to like find other ways to resolve the issues. But now that I see, like, kind of look back and know that everything went on, I'm like, I don't blame Cyborg. I kind of see where she was coming from. Wow. And the reason I say this, of course, is because now I want Cyborg to like me so she doesn't get mad at me.
I'll tell her you say that.
Yeah, make sure you tell her. I hope she's watching.
In a few minutes.
Yeah.
By the way, you mentioned Dana White. You were at Citi Field with him, right? I think you, Gastelum, Longo, Sarah, maybe a couple other fighters, right? You guys did like a batting.
Gastelum, Longo, which was awesome. Volante,
that's right. I saw some footage of him in the batting cage.
Who?
Dana.
Yeah.
Maybe not the athlete, or maybe.
I'm not gonna put him in a box as not an athlete. You know, there's some people that just aren't good at baseball.
Can't hit the high heat.
Some people aren't good at baseball.
A scale of 1 to 10, where would we put his baseball skills at?
Well, you know what? I mean, I killed him during the thing. I wonder if they'll cut it out for that show, but I was making fun of Dana because he was the first one up in the batting cage, and the whole time I'm like, yes, now I'm not scared anymore because I can't be worse than this. But he ended up hitting a few. He did good. Did? I mean, his form wasn't great. And then that was when we were inside. The best part of the whole thing, so each one of us are going, and Gastelum, Gastelum's cool, so we have no like beef. We're like talking, hanging out. He was among like all the Sarah Longo guys, Dana. So he's kind of like the odd guy out, and he's a cool kid. So we're trying to make him feel comfortable. We're all hanging out with him just as much. Yeah, he's a cool dude. So Gastelum is talking like he's going to be good. Like he's pretty good. So I think he goes up after like maybe Matt or whatever. He goes in there and he swings. He swings as hard as he can. And as soon as he swings the bat, he completely misses. The bat slips out of his hand, goes all the way up into the batting like nets, gets tangled up on the top, and he lost the bat. And everyone was like, it was the funniest thing ever. We were all dying.
This is on the field?
Hysterically laughing. No, this is now inside. This is like the practice thing before we went out.
Any of the players see this?
Yes, everyone was. They said that's the first time in the history of batting practice that has happened. God. It was pretty. So
Gastelum was worse than Dana.
He was worse than Dana with throwing the bat. Dana didn't let go of the bat.
Wow. And did you hit any dingers?
I did all right. I hit.
You have any proof of this?
I hit 100-mile-per-hour fastball.
Wow.
Me and Matt were the only ones who got to try to hit 100-mile-per-hour fastball. I hit a couple times, and then I hit it the furthest out of everybody, all the guys. I hit the wall.
Wow.
I hit the wall when we were out on the field. I did all right, and Dana was offering me $25,000 to hit a home run.
And you didn't get it.
And I didn't get it. You know what it was like? I needed the gloves. My hands were getting slippery. The nerves were going.
Was someone pitching or was it a machine?
Vellante made money. Vellante, he was so bad. Vellante was so bad that he offered him, I think, $5K just to hit into the out of the infield, just if it rolled out into the infield. And they're throwing the ball like this.
Yeah.
You know, they're just.
So it's a live.
It's a someone's actually pitching now, and Vellante actually hit it like a little bit past the infield and got some money.
Done.
So good for him. But Dana, he realized I was cracking him, so he realized he had to go with the homer with me. But he did up the ante with the $25K, and I couldn't pull through.
Yeah. I must say though, speaking of you and Gastelum, I was at that press conference in Dallas, and I love the beef. I love it, but it was funny how like everyone seemed to have an issue, like Cormier and Jones and like Claudio Gadelha and Amanda Nunes. There was all, and then you and Gastelum walk up to each other and you're like hugging, and it was kind of nice. It was kind of refreshing just how different you two were.
Yeah,
you didn't feel the need to put on, because I feel like these days
sometimes now the guys are forcing it. I mean, all credit to Conor McGregor. Look what he pulled off with the beef he started with every single person he fought, no matter whether he liked him or not. He was cold-blooded towards it, and he made a lot of hell of money. Now he's fighting Floyd Mayweather. I mean, the guy he's surpassed everybody by far. So everybody's trying to jump on that bandwagon and kind of get an idea, like kind of learn from him, which is I understand. But sometimes if it's forced, it's even almost worse. You know.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of guys are doing that. I've had beef with some of the guys I'm fighting before, and naturally, if it comes out, but
you even kissed a man.
I even kissed a man. I gotta do what I gotta do with Anderson Silva. But Gastelum is a guy I knew for a while. I never had thought we were gonna be fighting, so we were always very close. Different events, and we were sponsored by the same companies for a while. So, you can't all of a sudden be like, now I hate you because we're gonna fight. You know,
yeah.
It's just,
no, it was very nice.
I got respect for him.
Yeah. What are you doing for the 4th?
I don't know yet. Well, I got a wedding tonight.
Oh, it's on a Monday?
I know.
What is up with that?
I don't know. Probably cheaper. I don't know.
Yeah.
Late night. I don't know if I'm going yet though. My wife will be going.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I'm just.
You're tired?
I'm tired, man. I'm training a lot, so
Okay.
I'm like, it's getting close to the fight. I'm probably gonna go. We'll see. My wife had. I think I might have a dry cleaning problem. My clothes might not be done yet.
Okay,
so
that's a good excuse.
I think dry cleaners usually close on Mondays. So right now I'm in a good spot. No offense. I kind of want to. I want to go to the wedding. I really, really want to go to this wedding. So hopefully everything gets resolved. And then for the 4th, we have a couple different options, but it's I'm going to be training. My main thing is I'm focused in training. But as far as a party, we have a couple different options.
So you're just you're waiting till after.
If it was up to me, to be honest with you, I'm not a big like going out guy or like partier. My life, if like every single day, I'd rather be in my backyard with my family, my kids, hanging out, barbecuing. That's better than going on any vacation or anything like that. That's more my style. I'd rather sit on the couch, watch TV with the kids, watch a movie, play with them, wrestle with them in the house, than go anywhere. My wife is the opposite, so that's why I go places.
Same here. Yeah. I don't want to make plans with anyone.
Yeah, I don't like going anywhere.
Oh, play dates, things like that.
I'm boring. My wife hates that. I'm definitely boring.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm good. Let's just hang out here.
That is a nice visual.
Yeah.
We shall leave it at that. This has been fun.
Yeah, it's
Did
cool,
you enjoy
man.
it?
Yeah, it's really cool. And you stepped your game up. This place is awesome, man.
Well, thank you.
You deserve it. I mean, you've been doing this for like 30 years, so
I know.
It's about time.
On the internet for all these years. It's nice to have an actual professional operation.
Yeah.
But this has been great.
And I really appreciate you inviting me. This is,
of course.
Even on a 3-fight losing streak, you still care about me.
I still care. I will always care.
To say.
You're still my guy.
And
I'll never forget.
That's why I won't forget you when I have that belt around my waist again.
Wow.
I won't.
He said that on camera. You won't big time us. Like last time when you won against Anderson, you kind of big timed me for like a couple of months, but then you got back to normal.
I don't know if you're thinking clearly.
There was a time you were like showing up with sunglasses and stuff, and I was like, "Who's this guy?"
Bisping just had sunglasses on, didn't he? What's wrong with sunglasses?
Well, indoors.
Okay.
But no, I know it's a schlep to come down here. So now you have to go all the way back up to take the train. Yeah, for those that don't live in New York.
I noticed that the pier, is it Pier 6 or Pier 3 right here? You got the helicopters? Maybe send me a copter back. Can you hook it up? I mean, this is MMA Hour, right?
I will hook it up. I don't want to make the exchange, but I did say that I would reimburse your travel, so I got you. Maybe PayPal?
You're one of those guys? Venmo? Oh, you don't have Venmo? Too bad. That actually happened yesterday. We had a bunch of people over, like all my wife's friends from like high school, and everyone has babies now. Everyone's old. And they came over and we had ordered a bunch of food and everyone's like, "Oh, you have Venmo?" And I'm like, "No, I don't have Venmo." "Oh, yeah, because we don't have cash." I'm like, "All right, forget it. I don't care."
Okay, you want the cash? I got my thing right here.
No, it's too late now. It's too late now.
But it's just.
You do have cash and you didn't want to give it to me.
Well, I don't want to do it on air.
Why bring up PayPal?
I said, here you go. I said that.
$8?
No. It couldn't have been more than $13. The taxi?
You know what? I wish this was a different show. I'd really rip you apart right now. I rip you apart.
Do you have a receipt? Are you saying that I'm Jewing you? Is that what it's coming from?
Listen, guys. I'm not racist, but I do come from Long Island. I do have a lot of Jewish friends.
That's it. I went to the beach yesterday in Connecticut with my family, and I bought a lot of ice cream for my kids and everything like that. So there it is.
All right, man. Get the metro. Can I go through this and show everybody? I already see the first one's dangerous.
Don't do that.
All right. And you can take your money back.
No.
Listen,
I promise.
I should pay you to come on this show.
Oh, well, thank you. Oh, gosh. Thank you so much. Really, July 22nd, Nassau Coliseum. Cris Weidman returns against Kelvin Gastelum. It's live and free on Fox. This is Big Fox. Back on Big Fox.
Back on Big Fox.
This is a big deal.
First time since Damian Maia fight.
Everyone's doubting you. I feel it.
I know. Keep doubting me, guys.
This is a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Thank you, Cris. Thank you so much. All the best. Say hello to your family. You could just actually walk out. We have someone waiting for you right over there. Cool. We're doing this on the fly. There he is, Cris Weidman.
Got things holding me down here?
Yep, you're good. No, it's portable. You don't even have to take it off here. You could just walk out with it.
I'm going to do it.
Just like that. All right.
I want more airtime.
There he is, Cris Weidman. Reebok Combat, please take your Monster Energy. Back on, there it is. How much was it?
You know what? I actually said no receipt. I think I hit the no receipt button, so you got lucky.
All right. Well, here it is. For your troubles. Thank you so much, Cris. We appreciate it. Good luck July 22nd. We will see you there on Long Island, Nassau Coliseum. There he is, the one and only Cris Weidman fighting Kelvin Gastelum in less than 3 weeks. A very important fight in the middleweight division. The middleweight division is obviously in focus, and the interim title is on the line this weekend, and that is a very important fight with Kelvin Gastelum on a roll and Cris Weidman trying to get back on track.